Hey guys, doing a review of the Guardian. This is the mouse pad that is from tekkusai and is supposedly the fastest glass pad in the world. And while for me it is still the fastest, I technically don't know whether it is the fastest because there might be a mouse pad out there that I haven't used. But as far as I know, this is the fastest glass pad in the world. And I'm telling you, wow, my English. It is finally time for me to make my review, as I've been using this as my main mouse pad pretty much exclusively about 95% of the time. I've been playing games from like Valorant to I've been playing everything honestly with it. It's just my main pad right now. So I'm gonna give you kind of my opinions and I guess just my review, as you'd expect, I suppose. So yes, that is right. This is the fastest, at least out of my collection, and I'm surely probably in the one in the fastest in the world. It is that, but it is not comparably faster to see something like the wallhack SP4. Give me a second. So here I have the wallhack SP4, and the difference between them is not. It's not that big as you might think, is what I'm saying. It's still there, but it's to the point where you would have to like go back and forth a little bit and be like, maybe no. But like after you use it for a while, or after you gave it like a one use, you would kind of be able to tell like, that's a little bit faster. So like, I guess, for example, I can try doing like a stupid mouse test like this. It's not very scientific. It's not very, useful, but maybe it does something for you, See, as you can see, it's honestly like, you can probably barely tell. It's like mostly the same, and that's kind of what I mean by they're not that different. But I still think that doesn't mean like this is useless as a pad. In fact, like, let's see, like, it is faster. It is slightly faster, but it's not going to be so noticeably faster where it's like, oh, like, yes, fastest glass pad, buy this now, destroy your wallhack as before. No. But what this is improved on is the Guardian is a more, what I would say, modern product, I suppose. It is a lot lighter. It is like 1/4 or half the weight. I don't actually know. That's just me guessing. Half the weight of like the SP4, and it is noticeable when you're carrying it around or moving it, which is so much nicer. Like if you ever actually move around your glass pads and put them around, like it's just so much nicer. It just feels so much better. That's so lighter. Yeah. In terms of surfacing, I'm going back to the surfacing though, because that's like something some people don't really care about, right? People mostly care about the surface, and that's it. I don't have much to say besides it's the fastest. It's not abrasive. It's smooth, but probably not the smoothest I've ever felt. But it is easily the fastest, so it's the one I use. I don't know. So I guess for dynamic games, obviously you have the most. I guess as someone who's been jaded to using it for so long, that's probably why I have like less of a strong opinion now, because I've been using it for so long. But essentially, you do need a lot of control for basically everything. I do remember when I first switched to it, I was like, yeah, this is rough. Like you can see how I can barely click on this mouse. Like if I'm not holding it from the sides to keep it steady, you can see how like it moves. Even if I try clicking it as steady as possible, it moves a little bit. You can see like even like with my finger just touching it. It is very, yeah, the beast, the Guardian, it is extremely, extremely fast. So yeah, that's gonna still apply here. Whether you use this for anything, no matter what game you use it for. Funnily enough, I actually use this for Valorant a lot, just because I don't know, I just found myself preferring this over, and which is weird because you would think like most people are like, oh, fast pads not good for Valorant, and they're mostly right, or at least like But for me, I don't know, something I enjoy. Or I prefer, I don't know. Which is also weird because I have like minor tremors, so like I'm like really shaky at times. I'm like somewhat shaky, but like, yeah, okay, you get the point. Anyways, let's get into this. Let's talk about more really quickly. Just I don't know, guess about what I think about the Guardian. I mean, I did say in my piece. I guess the art is subjective whether you like it or not. I think I like it. It's not my favorite art, as I think I mentioned in my first impressions video, but I still do very much like it. It is still very much like high quality. It's still very much I like it. Not that I don't like it. It's just not my favorite. I don't know if I have a favorite right now. Glassworks makes some nice stuff, but I don't know. I've never had any of those, but I don't know. Either way, nice design, whether you like it or not, that depends on you. The surfacing itself, the fastest and the lightest. So definitely the most, I would say, refined product. Like I said, modern before, but I think refined is the word, because it's actually lightweight. It's actually like it's very good in most ways. Like it's I've used it for a lot. I've put a lot of time on it now, so I know that it is very, at the very least, durable, or like doesn't destroy my skates. Nothing particular about it that I would want to negatively comment about. So my choice of skates has been Jades. Of course, I think Jades have just been always my go-to skate when going back to speed pads or really whatever. I've always found myself going back to them. Silver Fox skates, like I do have Silver Fox skates right here. These are very close to them, but they're not. They're just ever so slightly. They feel ever so slightly slower, and I don't know whether that actually is the case. But it is, I don't know, I've just always found myself going back to Jade. Silver Foxes are pretty close, and the Silver Foxes do come with the Guardian, so I mean, in my opinion, that's good enough. But I don't know, since I have the option, I think I prefer Jade slightly. Yeah, that's gonna be my choice. So I think it's a good choice, or a good choice that they gave you the Silver Fox skates with the Guardian. Honestly, it is basically my option because these are super close, like basically identical in terms of skates, and this is my favorite skate design. It feels like the least static friction. It has the, I don't know, it just feels the most smooth to me too, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know, that's just me. But yeah, don't know if I have anything else to say about my review, honestly, because I mean, it's the Guardian. That's kind of all there is to it. You know, it's a really fast pad. Its artwork's nice if you like it. It's your opinion. I don't have that much to say about it. I guess, you know, one thing I would maybe like is if the Guardian was wider, because when you have a mouse pad at this low friction or this speed, you're probably going to lower your sensitivity to match it. And the problem with that is if you want to do a slide over here or whatever, you don't have as much space because your sensitivity is even lower. So what it hasn't been a problem in game for me really, or I don't think so, at least not subconscious, or at least not consciously, maybe subconsciously, but it hasn't really been a problem. But I would like for it to be the same size as my Serapad Kin personally. I would like for it to be at least a little bit bigger. That would be just much nicer and feel more freeing, if you know what I mean. Obviously it doesn't help that I have like some of my monitor blocking this right here. But even so, like right here, this is enough space. Don't get me wrong, this is enough space. But if I had to nitpick, if I had to be like, yes, it's the perfect one, you know, this is not it still, and I'd still prefer that size. Yeah. Personally, you know, I said it's the fastest, but honestly, I still think there can be faster. I don't know. I just get this feeling because like I still feel some tugging, and I don't know. Maybe that's just me not knowing how unfrictionless things can be. I don't know. I don't know. Basically, what I'm saying is there is still some tug actually. At the very least, these are some very used Jade dots though, so keep that in mind. They might. Of course, there's more friction. Newer dots are gonna be much better, but I'm just saying. I feel like there might be a possible way to go faster, but who knows? Maybe by very little, maybe by not at all. I don't know. You know what I mean? At that point, you're just going into the rabbit hole of yes, let me get a little bit more speed. Yeah, you know, whatever. All right. I think from there, all I've been doing is rambling. So basically, the Guardian, a great glass pad. And for the price too, it's actually very, very reasonable in the glass pad market. Usually the price for glass pads is around 120, 130, 100, you know, and that's about for the Guardian. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Like it's for a glass pad, obviously. If you're a normal person, you're not an enthusiast, don't do it. But for someone in the hobby already, or for someone who knows glass pads, then this is actually a very solid price. Especially since tekkusai at one point was having a sale where he actually reduced the price, whereas shipping was not considered in the pricing, and he lowered it to $100 flat. And at that price, this one was definitely, easily one of the best glass pads on the market that I would recommend for anyone if it was available. It's no longer available, unfortunately, but he might make a new one. He might, you know, do stuff like that. So it is definitely good, actually, really good price for what that was. And I'm sure it'll come back again in a different style or something. And so when that does happen, I'm sure that's when people are gonna be like, yeah, I want that, you know, the glass pad. But yeah, I'm happy very much with pretty much everything about this pad. With the only gripes I have are that I wish it was a little bit bigger, wider. I mean, not taller, just wider. And I personally would probably have a better design, or prefer a better design. Not by that much though, honestly. The design is quite nice, you know, it's not bad. I'm not saying that. It's just like if I'm nitpicking here. But without the nitpicking, this has, well, it's become my main pad. You know, I use it pretty much for everything. This hasn't really left my desk, not even for a little bit actually. Like surprisingly how little this is just, I've just not been thinking about it. I've just been using it. And yeah, it does the job. It is the new speaking. And so with that in mind, you do want to be very much careful if this is a pad for you, considering you need insane control, or I don't know, maybe it's a good training tool for you. I don't know. Just saying though, like the control very not there. Prepare yourself. You know, it's exceptionally fast, which is pros and cons depending on what your playstyle is and what you prefer. So yeah. All right, that's gonna be my review of The Guardian by tekkusai, as well as it's also called known as the Beast. So I don't know. You might make another one called something like, I don't know, the Protector. I don't know. I just made that up real quick. But anyways, well, that is The Guardian. That's actually just what. Never mind. Anyways. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more reviews like on glass pads, mice, anything like that, or just discussion or pretty much anything about stuff I like, gaming mice, tech, whatever, I don't know, feel free to like and sub. That's totally up to you whether you do or not. Feel free to leave a like, and I think I already... Oh my God. I'm sorry, I haven't recorded a video in a while, so I'm like trying to get into the okay. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Yeah. Goodbye. I'm ending it now. Goodbye. Peace.